Hey guys, it's Nate doing the Options Locator June 13th, 2021 newsletter. First things first, going to start off with the risk disclaimer on the website. Please review that. Disclaimer can also be found in the Discord channel and at the end of the newsletter. So make sure you review all that and we will get started. So last week we had AMD. It started to break out, kind of failed. Now continue to look for it this week. Needs to make a solid push over 83 first. Anthem had a nice breakdown here after triple inside week down. Hit every target that we were looking for, so pretty good short there. BBY, I didn't set an alert here because I wasn't convinced it was going to really take it up, so it didn't, and so had the alert set on the upward trend line here, and so I ended up taking it down. Went right to the bottom part of the Browning formation, so really nice short there. Bumble couldn't get going, but maybe extend this trend line here and see if we can get a nice push. It took the inside week down, but curling back up. Coin, double inside day, barely took the inside week down, so continue to monitor that. Costco will be on this week's newsletter. CRM, same thing. Cisco broke out and then went to the top part of that Browning formation before pulling back in. CVS, inside week down, couldn't get over 87.30, but it barely took the inside week down, so see what they continue to do there. DraftKings was really nice for us. Downward trend line, breakout, double inside day up. Put a nice swing on it with the 55 calls for this upcoming Friday. Went in the money, so really nice move there. Dollar Tree, double inside week. It'll be on this week's newsletter too. Facebook, good breakout Monday. Right through that downward trend line, taking it up there, and new highs this week. Mo, same thing. Started out great, but then it kind of faded. Came back within the range, so nothing special there. Marvel had earnings, but it was a nice reaction to earnings off the inside day and up. So now they're trying to confirm that move. Playboy, really nice move through that downward trend line over the inside day up through 50. Had the offering news, pulled back. Nothing we can do about that. PayPal barely triggered the downward trend line. Put in a shooter inverted hammer there, but then came back through on Thursday and closed it out well on Friday. So it looks like they are going to try and take this reversal up this week. And Roku, be on this week's newsletter too with the inside week, but nice inside day up. Yeah, went outside day, but it never triggered our short. So inside day up, really nice move all week. Kind of wishy-washy here midweek, but then looking to close things out here. Barely went inside week, so if we can get over 353, I like it. Snow, Investor Day was this week, but it went right to the top part of that Browning formation. As you can see, my 2 points are back here, so it went right to it, then pulled back. So now we'll see if they take it back down through this old range here and work back down to this area. And Walgreens triggered the breakout, but still not a huge move. Nothing to write home about. So overall, a decent week. We had we had FSLY as a carryover swing that was really nice, and a NEO was a carryover swing. So those worked out very well. So filled that gap there, and then NEO trying to push through the top part of that Browning formation, but we had it the prior week with the 42 calls. Obviously well in the money. This hit 40 over 46 on Friday, so $4 in the money there, so pretty nice move. So moving on to this week, we have starting out CGC. Pot's been hot lately. Maybe we might be putting in the short-term reversal, also 21 area. If we can get through this downward trend line or 26.55, I'd like to see it push back up. You've got a lot of volume coming in. It is drying up a little bit. So if we can get over that area, that's what I like. And then work towards this small area of resistance here and work back up towards 30. Comcast, basically over 57. We can take the inside day up through that downward trend line. It's not, going to be super sexy. But, I mean, from here to here is only 2 points. But we can still take some longer dated calls and work ourselves back up there. Costco, getting really tight here. I'm looking for the move over 385. And then through that downward trend line, make new highs, 390, 400 magnet. This upward trend line held all week. Went right to it right here. You can see my 2 points here. So went right to it. Now see if we can get this solid move over 385, 387.76, 389.45, and new highs. Triple D, through this downward trend line, I like it. Nice base here around 28.5. Broke out back here. So now they're pausing. See if we can get confirmed move through this downward trend line this week over 33, then over 34.25 here, and on up. Dollar Tree, double inside week. We had it last week. Held 100 pretty well. Yeah, it broke it here, but went inside off of it here. And now back up. So through this downward trend line, it looks like they are wanting a reversal. So take it over 102.62, 103.85. Fill this gap midpoint 105, and then fill it to 106.80. Goose, kind of out of season here, but I do like it over 41.66. Might be a good swing here for common stock into the end of first quarter next year. As you know, winter's going to be their biggest month. So see if they can bounce this Browning formation right at the midpoint here, confirm it over 42 area on up to 45 plus. Qualcomm, inside day through this downward trend line, 134.65 what I'm looking for. Breakout area 136.07 and on up to 138.69 area, and it's somewhat of a Browning formation here, but if we can get through this downward trend line over 135 or so, we should be working ourselves back up. Roku, kind of went over it already, but we had this downward trend line here, and then they held it pretty well, held up 323.5 pretty well this week, working ourselves up basically over 353, then over 357, on up 360, 378, 75. A lot of eyes on this one, so I feel like this one's due for one of these larger outside days or one of these just larger green days. I feel like that's in the works here soon. Starbucks filled that gap this week, basically over 113 is what I'm looking for. Coming out of this falling wedge here, failed breakout, came back through it, filled this gap, 113. Get over here over 115, work ourselves up. Tesla, inside day, inside week, small gap here. Basically, it needs to hold this gap. If it breaks the gap, we're looking at 550, 546 or so, and then 539. Breakout over this downward trend line over 616, 617 area. Inside day up, I'd like to see 633.80, and then 640, 650 area. Take two. Not a lot of room here between the downward trend line and the top of Browning formation there, but see if they can get a push through it. they filled this gap here on a wick, so not going to be much volume in that area there, so maybe they can push through it, and then ultimately work itself back up here to 200 eventually, but looking for a nice push up to around 190 this week. As far as the other setups go, Airbnb honorary inside week is a barely wicked out here. Very similar setup to this breakout here. So we're stair stepping ourselves up here. Broke out here is kind of what I'm looking for here. So get a solid move over 150 here, 152.70 and on up. ATVI, small gap here on the daily around 100. Went outside month last month, so now they're trying to confirm this bullish outside month from May over 98.5 essentially, and then get on up here back into the 100 area. Chegg, I like this one. Put in a new lower low here off of the inside week back here, but barely made it. A new lower low, so seeing if they'll bounce off the bottom part of the brown formation up over 77 and 77.74. I like it for a nice breakout and confirm this reversal up over 80. CRM, like I said, we had it last week. It broke out, but it's kind of wishy-washy here midweek. So get it through this downward trend line, push it back up. I'd like to see it up to around 245 this week. Dash, 2 very nice days here. Technically, these 4 days are inside Monday, but I've had 155 here for a while. It really needs to bust out, basically even 155.5 essentially. It needs to break out. Once it does, should take off, but might see a nice pause at the first of the week after these 2 nice days here, but over 155, 155.5, and I like it for a nice push up. Datadog, it's been great to us since this inside day breakout. Just been working itself up. Now, if we can confirm it over 96.35, I'd see a push back over 100 here as well, sort of like ATVI. But over 96.35, I'd be looking for a move to 100. Shop had a nice day on Friday, breaking out this downward trend line here. Another honorary inside week as it barely wicked out, which is telling me that they're wanting to take this thing up. Kind of tight here in this small area here. Get over 1250, 1252 and a quarter there. Basically get over that area, and then go for the breakout over that. Work for 1278.93, 1300, 1301, and then small gap at 1330 area. So if we can get a nice push over 1250, 1252, that's what I'm looking for this week. And then Visa, as long as it holds this upward trend line here, working itself up, I'd look at going long here, basically over 235.5. Put in new all-time highs of 237.50, and then see if we can get a nice tag at 240 there. If not more. So that's really all I have this week. If you guys have any questions about the newsletter or anything else, give me a shout. And I hope everybody has a good week. Don't forget that this week is OPEX, and I don't know if it's quad witching, triple witching. It doesn't matter. It's going to be some tomfoolery out there this week. So just be prepared for that. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks, guys.